Why is Lando Norris hated so much? British Belgian driver Lando Norris will be 25 years old in November, but I doubt he'll get many presents from certain fan bases. Even though he's the only one within a shot of grabbing the Formula 1 driver title away from Dutch legend Max Verstappen, he isn't getting the support from fans you'd expect. So that made me wonder why the pretty harmless English fella is hated so much on social media. I'm Wimbo. Here's 3 seconds to leave a like. First, let's establish if Norris gets hated in the first place. A simple scroll over Twitter shows that quite a bit of negativity is being spouted about Norris. Here are a few examples. Norris is crash prone, 5'3" with an attitude, can't keep P1 to save his life, squeaky voice, goes on McDonald's dates, has no pace, lack of conviction, zero aura. The worst driver ever, career highlights, WDC contender, can't get off the line, Q1 specialist, the worst starter. Do I hate Lando Norris? No. Do I dislike Lando Norris? Yes. Lando Norris drove like a twat the whole f***ing time, and he got what he deserved. I'm so glad Verstappen took him out. This is why we hate you, bro. Lando Norris's career-ending crash 4K, please. Part of the reason why people don't like McLaren and Norris is because they sneak this too much and can't live up to the expectations when race wins are on the line. People comparing the hate Vettel, Hamilton, Verstappen got to the hate Norris is getting. No babe, they got hated for winning and being good. Norris gets hated because he has a much bigger ego than he should with only 2 wins in his bag. It's safe to say Lando Norris gets a fair bit of mud slung at him. Maybe a little more than he deserves, because he's pretty harmless most of the time. We don't see him crash all the time like Stroll, or swear and curse over the radio like Verstappen. He doesn't do that virtue signaling thing Hamilton does. Overall, he seems to be a nice guy and a very good driver. He qualifies well, he scores very consistent podiums and stays out of trouble. In interviews, he always seems honest and friendly. And I don't think he tells lies. He's very genuine. Maybe that's why especially the British media is all up his ass. Which annoys other fan bases, of course. But I want to know, where does this hate, this negativity come from? Well, I conducted some research on social media and a few things stand out. It's a few particular groups that do the hating and another particular group that vibes on that. There are 4 groups that hate Norris. I'll reveal them one by one. Group 1. The first obvious group that has beef with Norris sometimes are people like me, the Max Verstappen fans. Or, as rocket-powered Mohawks likes to call us, the Verstappen shaggers. They see Lando inching closer and closer with each race while they want Verstappen to win the title. This is just a bit of natural banter between 2 opposing teams, or in this case, drivers. I agree, those people can go too far with their posts, and I prefer it if they didn't. In any case, nothing comes close to the tension we had in 2021 when Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen were fighting it out on track. Things were said on both sides that shouldn't have been said. The Norris-Verstappen battle isn't that bad, and I hope it doesn't come to that point. Group 2. Group 2 is Team LH. What a coincidence. You may wonder why that group would hate Norris, as they are barely on the same piece of tarmac and Hamilton isn't in the title battle at all. Well, I think Hamilton fans hate Norris because they secretly hate that another English driver is becoming successful, and that could possibly endanger Hamilton's legacy. George Russell gets hate for the same reason and for being faster, which the point tally doesn't show, unfortunately. I might do a video about that too at some point. What also didn't help Norris's case was when they were in the cool-down room together, Hamilton complimented Norris for being fast, and Norris snapped back, saying Lewis had a fast car 7 years ago. Although I didn't mind him saying that, it wasn't needed, and even my amateur psychology brain couldn't figure out what compelled him to say that. It was fun to see for me, but still. So proper Hamilton fans would rather not see Lando Norris succeed. Group 3. The next group are the Aussies. Yes, they were gone after Daniel Ricciardo decided to leave Red Bull in 2018, and the noise from down under disappeared. However, Since Oscar Piastri arrived at the scene, they are back and ready to rumble. Which is great, I love Aussies. With the McLaren team being a bit all over the place with their support for both drivers, and the prospect of a second driver position for Piastri, his fans aren't too pleased. They don't understand why Norris is getting that support since Piastri has been scoring more points lately. They both have 2 wins this season. Norris just had a better start than Piastri, so the idea of Piastri having to give up a win for Norris doesn't sit well with them. And this will be continued. Group 4. Then there's the group of OG fans. The people that hate fans that came through Drive to Survive. These OG fans always boast about how they've been watching for 30, 20 or 15 years and hate the state F1 is in. They hate young people, especially girls. As it turns out, Lando Norris is loved by many teenage girls. I bet there's lots of bedrooms with Taylor Swift and Lando Norris posters. I obviously don't mind those fans. My view is, the more, the merrier. Both my kids are that age, and I wish they supported Norris, because they don't like F1 at all. But there is one downside to having this group involved, and that's the drama they can make. If you search Lando Norris hate on Twitter, you'll get a bunch of hate posts about Norris, as I've shown earlier. However, you get 10 times more posts of girls crying about the hate Norris gets. Those outnumber the actual negative posts about Lando. They see someone saying that Norris is bad at starts, and they call it hate. They see a post of someone saying that Norris doesn't convert many poles to wins, and they start crying that it's hate. Someone questions if a great driver actually needs team orders, and they make it sound like it's the worst thing that anyone's ever said. I also wondered why he had to say "simply lovely, huh?" after he won in Zandvoort. But before I tweeted, I realized that Norris is a little impulsive sometimes, and he just thought, hey, I'm in Holland. Max is from the Netherlands. He said that a few times. I'll say it too. No bad intentions at all. But it opened the door for the dislikers, and they reacted. And then the Norrises made all the drama. It's as simple as that. So, in conclusion, is Norris getting hate? Yes. Is it more than other title candidates? No. Is there more drama about it? Yes. Do you need to subscribe? Yes. Take care now. Doei doei.